what is that? Sadhanas. Auxiliary means they help firm up the mind, because we have to understand the problem. This is not, this is not being fanatic about it. You have to understand the problem. What is the problem? The problem here is you don't know. It's not that Atma is away from you. So, if you want to accomplish something by action, the action is very finite. It can only do 4 things. It can, you can get something you don't have. Apyam. So something far away from you, you can get, because it is far away. Apyam. And then what can what else can you do with karma? You can have something, you can have some kind of a thing which is dirty, you can clean it. Samskaryam. Samskaryam. Or you can modify it into something else. Samskaryam, example, copper pot, that is tarnished. And then you take some lemon or tamarind and you rub. That is samskaryam. Or you can take 2 things and modify. You can modify 2 things. Like milk and a little starter you can take, and then you put it and then make it into curds, yogurt. So you can modify that. This is all that the karma can do. So it can help you reach something that is not there, and then it can clean something that is unclean. It can modify some 2 things together and give rise to the 3rd thing. Or it can create something, janyam. You can create something with it. Like you can make fire using heat, wood, etc., friction. So like this is all that the karma can do. Which karma are you going to choose for knowing the Atma? It is not apyam. Atma is not away from you. It is not samskaryam. It is not something that you can, that is dirty, that has to be cleaned. It is not vikaryam. You can't take 2 things and then make the Atma. How can you make the Atma with 2 things? Where is the second thing? There is only one thing, and that is alone is there. And you cannot generate anything either, because Atma is akarta. It cannot generate, it cannot do anything at all. And so therefore, we have to understand that this is not a matter for karmic action. This karma or action. Atma is not a matter for action, because Atma is already there. It is swatah siddha, it is already understood, partially understood, wrongly understood, and that wrong understanding has to be corrected. And bhakti is also karma again, because even the one who is into bhakti, what will she do? What will he do? He will sing, she will chant, that is karma. Or they will meditate, manasam karma, that is also a form of karma, mental karma. Or they will, say some things, verbal karma, chanting, etc. Vachikam karma. Or they will do puja, kayikam karma. Correct? So this is what the whole thing is. So therefore, even bhakti is a form of karma. It's a karma with an attitude of devotion. That's what it is. And so karma cannot give jnanam. Without bhakti and karma yoga, jnanam cannot take place. That means what? Those are auxiliary prerequisites, preparation for gaining this knowledge. But the mukhya sadhanam for Atma Jnanam is Shravanam. Shravanam means you have to surrender to the means of knowledge. You're not surrendering to a person. You're surrendering to the fact that I cannot get this on my own, either by reading it or by, looking at it or whatever it is. I have to get into the place of giving someone, the Shastra, and the person who is handling the Shastra, the authority to explain it to me. I have to validate the person so that I can, understand this. The same thing happens when you go to a therapist, If you go to the therapist, what happens? You look at all the therapists, you select one. And you think, okay, this person has lot of qualifications. and this person can help me. Then you select the therapist, you go to the therapist, and then what? And the therapist will, the therapy is successful to the extent that you validate the therapist. You validate the therapist to validate you. And then the therapist says, yes, you have gone through so much in life. You're so courageous. You're so brave. You're so amazing. You've done amazing things. Awesome. And so, and the therapist's validation works because you have already validated the therapist. Same thing here. You have to validate the teacher. You select the teacher based on how they resonate with you, and then you allow the teacher to validate you. It's very interesting. It's all based on you alone. It's just fascinating to me how this happens. So you validate the teacher in order to validate you, and that is what is called surrender. So and the Upanishad says, by all means choose the teacher. The criteria for choosing the teacher are also given. First criteria, Shrotriya, a necessary criteria. If anybody says, I got this knowledge apne aap means what? By myself. Then what do you tell the person? Please keep the knowledge to yourself and enjoy it. Don't give me that knowledge that you gained apne aap. This apne aap business is not there in Vedanta. There is no do-it-yourself Vedanta. In fact, there is nothing, like I said, the person who's sharing the knowledge, the teacher, is nobody. And the teacher gives all the credit to their teacher, who gives the credit to their teacher, the teacher is just like this, a microphone. Yeah, except the teacher works all the time. Yeah, that's the only difference, correct. So, the teacher is just amplifying and explaining the Shastra. The teacher is the mouthpiece of the Shastra. The teacher is just faithful to the Shastra. Just like the mic does not, add to my words, correct? Whatever I say, it amplifies faithfully. If it also starts to think and edit and punctuate my words, then I cannot teach, correct? So like that, the teacher does not modify the Shastra. The teacher the teacher updates the Shastra to make it relevant to your life. Like even an app on your phone, correct? Suddenly you will get the message, this app is updating itself. Why? Because some changes have taken place, new security measures are in place, and it has to be relevant to the software right now. So the app is updating itself. So the teacher is not app, teacher is apta. So the one who has gained the knowledge, updating it in a manner that is relevant to every generation. Whichever the generation the teacher is from, to that, whoever comes to that, at that time it has to be made relevant, exciting, interesting, purposeful. Then only it works. Adi Shankara gave examples of his time, He gave for example, he gave one frequent example he gives is that of some kind of a rare gem called Shyamantaka gem. And then the Vedanta is like this Shyamantaka gem, very rare, and once you find it, it is, it lights up the whole thing like this. So and that was relevant for his time. So if supposing somebody says, I am faithful to Adi Shankara, I am faithful to that, I am only going to give that example. And the people sitting here in front of you, they don't know Shyamantaka, anything, they don't have any frame of reference. Then what do? You have to update it. You have to update it. You have to update, you can use the same example, but you have to update it. You have to make it relevant. You can say diamond, or you can say something like that, And so therefore, something that makes sense to that time, that place. That's why the knowledge is like live coals that are being placed in the heart of the hearer. That is what it is. It is not a dead knowledge from a book. In fact, even the Upanishad is what is called aparavidya. Aparavidya means not the ultimate life-changing, transformative teaching. What do you mean the Upanishad is Aparavidya? This is what is told in the Mundaka Upanishad. In the Mundaka Upanishad, Shaunaka, who has qualified for this knowledge by being a great giver of food and alms to the needy, goes to his guru, approaches his guru Angiras. Kasminnu bhagavo vijñate sati idam sarvam vijñatam bhavati. He asks a very beautiful question. Knowing which one thing, O Guru, is everything is as good as known. I want that master key of this universe, that master knowledge, which unlocks everything else. If one thing I should know everything, what is that one thing? And the teacher digresses and then comes to the answer. He says, Dve vidye veditavye. Two knowledges must be known, tavya. And vidya is dual here, so dve vidye, two kinds of knowledges must be studied. What are they? Paracha, aparacha. And sa apara, this is she who is apara, is called what? This is apara. And then what is apara? He asks. And then the teacher says, Rig Veda. Ayo, Veda is apara vidya. I thought it was paravidya. It is the ultimate knowledge. No. Rig Veda. Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam, Niruktam Chandasam Jyotishamiti. Everything, all the angas are there, Upavedas, Nakshatra Vidya, Shastra Vidya, Ayurveda, Yoga, everything is there. Everything is Aparavidya, means a vidya of no consequence but has to be studied, because without knowing this, Paravidya, it depends upon the knowledge of Aparavidya. So Aparavidya has to be studied first, because you have to have grammar, you have to have language. You saw how beautifully all those girls were speaking Sanskrit. It was rolling off their tongue. You have to have language, you have to have grammar, you have to have logic, tarka, all these things you have to have. You have to have reasoning. You have to have some qualifications for this knowledge. So this is all Aparavidya, because it's a branched out knowledge, endless branches. And if you know one thing, you certainly don't know everything. If you know physics, you don't know chemistry. If you know chemistry, then you don't know biology. Like this, so this is all Aparavidya, because it is in its own watertight compartment, and each compartment is endless because it is all Bhagavan. So you keep looking into one thing and then endlessly you're looking into that. So then, Shaunaka is curious. What is Paravidya? And he says, very beautiful definition. Yaya vidyaya yaya aksharam adhigamyate sa para. Yaya, by which what? Buddhi vritya, by which thought. Aksharam adhigamyate, that which is not subject to decay, namely the Atma, namely you, is fully understood and assimilated. That alone is para. And what is that? That is what is the live coal of knowledge. The live knowledge, which can be called a transmission, coming from the mouth of the teacher to the ear of the student. So therefore what? The ears must always be cleaned out for Shravanam, correct? Otherwise the ears are full of all kinds of sounds, all kinds of impressions. Because ear means the ear reaches the mind, the heart, the buddhi. So all of that has to be in place, because this is how the knowledge takes place. So when the teacher says something in the class, then you have what is called an aha moment. Yeah, yes, I got it. That is what is the knowledge. It cannot be written down. It cannot be, caught. It cannot be, even verbalized. Why? Because this knowledge is beyond language, beyond the mind, beyond words. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha. So suddenly, the mind and speech, vak, both of them are great friends, because speech says, I will articulate, you don't know how to talk, I will talk, you think, you are best at thinking, oh mind. And all your speech is a sidekick of the mind, because it is not, it doesn't have anything to do on its own. It says, I am your servant, I am your sidekick, and you think. I will articulate all your thoughts, nonsensical or great, doesn't matter. To me, all your thoughts are important. I will give voice to them. And mind says, Acha beta, wonderful, keep doing that. Actually Vak is feminine, beti, yes, wonderful. You know, keep doing that. Then both of them go on a mission. Mind said, Mind says, you'll come with me. आप मेरे साथ आओगे? To Vak. Vak says, yes, yes, wherever you go, I'm there. What are we doing? One exciting mission has come up. What? To go and catch hold of this Brahman. And I will tell you what all this Brahman is. And you will write it down and you will publicize it to the world. And finally I will get the credit. I have pinned down this Brahman. This Brahman is so elusive, this fellow. He keeps going everywhere. And I can't, I can't describe him. I can't do this. Will you come with me? They say, yes. And they give an advertisement in the paper. We are going together to capture Brahman. We'll come back victorious. And they have their, own website, capturebrahman.com, powered by Manaha and Vak. And they are all off on a great mission. A mission that ends in tragedy. They went after a big send-off. Everybody did arati to them because everybody wanted to capture Brahman. And this mind and Vak are going. So everybody put tilak on them, did arati, put garlands on them and sent them off. And then they came back, heads hung in shame, both of them. Yato vacho nivartante, from which the speech has come back. Aprapya, not having gained Brahman. Natija, zero. Yeah, nothing. They thought they were hero, but they came back as a big zero, not having gained Brahman. Aprapya manasa saha, along with the sad mind. Yeah. Now, what is the, Vak thought she had a great job. She's going to articulate Brahman. But now she's just supplying hankies to the mind, which is inconsolable and keeping on crying. The mind cannot stop crying. And Vak is keeping on supplying hankies. And Vak, who is never short of words, has nothing to say. Vak is sad and speechless because its master, the mind, is crying helplessly, red-eyed mind, fully sad, 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 sad. And then both of them, they say, let us not take the main route because people are waiting. We will get, we are already ashamed and they will say, chi, thu, and they will spit on us. Because they sent us with, they funded this trip. They said, we gave a list of itemized expenses and they funded this trip. And then what? Now we have to come back. And they will all spit on us. They will come behind us, give us back our money. And then so much, humiliation. And so what do we have to do? We have to come back in the dead of the night, skulk back, look to the left like cockroaches. If you put on the light, it goes away like that. So we cannot be anywhere. So we have to slowly come back, not having gained this thing called Brahman. Very, very sad. This is what happens when the mind goes, when the Vak goes. So many people have gone and then come back what? Come back zero. And those who say, I have captured Brahman, please don't go to them. Yes, do me a favor. Yeah. Even if you didn't get anything out of this whole 5 days, this one thing you please take with you. Anybody who says, I got this knowledge, apne aap, I have Brahman, come to me, do not go to them. Yeah. Better to not have this knowledge than go to them and get wrong knowledge. This is what the whole thing. Even the Kena Upanishad says, there the teacher puts a trick question. which we have to extrapolate because it's not there in the text. That we have to imagine, visualize that the teacher says, "Who among you knows Brahman?" Me. Shut up, sit down. You don't know. Those who say no, they don't know because it's not an object. The mind which went in search of Brahman happens to be Brahman. The Vak which went in search of Brahman happens to be Brahman. Like the thief who went in search of the money. Remember? Yeah. It was only yesterday. You cannot forget, okay? Don't give me a heart attack. So the thief who went in search of the money. Where was the money? Under his own pillow, and he was searching everywhere except where it was. This is our problem. The searcher is Brahman. The content of the seeker is Brahman. The seeker is sought. The seeker and the sought are one and the same. Therefore, Shravanam Kuryat. Therefore, I have to get out of my way to try to catch, because the mind is very active. It wants to put things in a box. And it already has prepared a box for Brahman based on its previous samskaras. Brahman must be very big. Brihi, Vriddhau, the dhatu Brihi means big. So I have to have a big box. This is the mind, stupid mind. How big? How can you box something, The mind is what needs to be boxed nicely for thinking wrong things like this. It will say the box must be big, and it must have, okay, we have heard, I have read somewhere, Brahman is Satchidananda, so the box must hold Sat and Chit and Ananda. In fact, I have had 3 sub boxes: Sat box, Chit box, and then Ananda box. You just have to box the mind, that's all it is. So this is a kind of a categorical thinking. Because the mind, don't forget, is powered by ahankara. And what does the ahankara do except categorize? Because that is how it stays in power. See, when all the colonizers came to India, what did they do? They changed the names. They changed the names of the people. You are no longer Subramanyam, you are Sam, And then now your religion is different. And they changed the names of the streets also. Yeah. And now the Indian government has taken this program of changing the street name back to Indian names with a vengeance. And all the children who are growing up on the streets are upset, because, what is that? They were living in some nice, Lord Curzon street. They felt good about it because this is internalized colonialism. You feel good because, you're coming from Lord Curzon street. Now Lord Curzon Street was changed because Lord Curzon was a curse upon India. So the Curzon was a viceroy, of the East India Company. And so that name of the street was changed to what? Some, Srinivas Iyengar Street. And then nobody wants to live on street. All the children are upset. Nobody wants to live on, Vasudevachar Srinivas Iyengar Street. Now that is what it has become. So like this, the naming has a power of owning. Naming is a hierarchical device. That this was practiced from age-old times. You name something, you own it, meaning you are in the place of power. And that which is the nami, that which has been named, is under you. And so the ahankara loves to name things with the help of the mind and with the help of speech. Why? Because it wants to sit on the throne and it wants to say, I know Brahman as an object. Everything is an object. Everything is a jati species. Everything is an object. But then the language itself is finite. Language also can do only 4 things. What does language comprise? Language comprises nouns. Nouns. Jati. Correct? Tree. And then, man, woman, room, chair, mic. These are all various things, nouns. And then language also is composed of what? Nouns, adjectives. Visheshanas. What kind of tree? Leafy tree, bushy tree, tall tree. So we have jati, We have Visheshana. And then we have what? Kriya. Kriya means what? Action, verbs. All the world of verbs. Runs, sits, tishtati, dhavati, karoti, bhunkte. Very important. Eats. Yeah. Shete, sleeps. This is all actions. And then finally Sambandha. Mine, yours, his, hers. This is the genitive case. This is all that is there in the language. Don't say what about adverbs. Adverbs are spin-off of adjectives. That's all it is. The whole language is only 4 things. Kriya, Visheshana, Jati and Sambandha. These are the only 4 things. How can you talk about Brahman? What Jati Brahman belongs to? No Jati. There is no Sajati. There is no Vijati. There is no Swagata. There is no Jati. There is no Jati outside of Brahman. There is no Jati within Brahman. There is no Jati anywhere. Yeah, enough. Sit, come. So then, this is what is, Jati is gone. And then what? Visheshana. How are you going to describe Brahman? How are you going to, Satchidananda is not an adjective to Brahman. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, they are not adjectives. Like, please bring me. What? Brihat, big, Neelam. Neelam means what? Blue. Brihat, Neelam, Sugandhi, fragrant, Utpalam. Utpalam means what? Lotus. Bring me a big, blue, fragrant lotus. Bring me Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. They are not the same. They are not the same at all. This is not an adjective. Satyam, Jnanam, Brahma, Anantam, what is that? Sat, Chit, Ananda are not adjectives to Brahman. They cannot be adjectives to Brahman. Because adjectives is what? What is the definition of an adjective? Swajatiyebhyah visheshebhyah vyavartakam visheshanam. So within its own class, it differentiates. Like lily class, lily jati, there you say blue lily, white lily, yellow lily, fragrant lily, non-fragrant lily, big lily, small lily, medium-sized lily. These are Visheshanas in the lily jati. How many Brahmans are there? Only one. So how can you say blue Brahman? Please bring me Satyam Brahma. Is there Asat Brahman? No. Please bring me Jnanam Brahma. Is there Jadam Brahma? No. Please bring me Anantam Brahma. Is there a sad Brahman? No. So these are descriptions. These are not even descriptions, not even definition. They are Lakshana Vakyas. They are indicatory words whose meaning end up in the word I. That's what it is. And since the I is Swatas Siddha, the meanings of these words just indicate, like even a sign that says, go this way. There is, when you go there, it says, go this way, river. If you want to go to this river side, go this way. There is one arrow. That is what Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are. They are arrows. And you know where to go because Atma is already known. Are you here? Yes. Yeah. That's how you know this. So you don't have to be objectified. The subject is never objectified. And these words are indicatory words that really only describe one thing. They don't try to differentiate. Like even if we were to describe Lord Rama using certain words. Dasharathi. Dasharathi means what? Hello? Son of Dasharatha. Show some signs of life. Yeah. Son of Dasharatha. And how many sons Dasharatha had? Yeah. So it could be any one of those 4. Then we have Kodanda Panihi. The one who has the bow Kodanda in his hand. But Bharata also could be holding the Kodanda. Correct? So then we have to have, another one. Sita Patihi. That clinches it. Correct? So now, Dasharathihi, Kodandapanihi, Sitapatihi refer to what? One person and the same person. Similarly, they indicate the person. Similarly, these Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam indicate Brahman. And that Brahman being you, the indication is enough to know who you are. So they are indirect words that are the same words we use. So the vak that was very sad and the mind that was in tears, we wipe off the tears of the mind and then bring it through the back door and say, you can be of service in this knowledge. We will, we will put vak in a nice hot soapy water, clean it out and use bhava sadhana, use abstract words to describe this, to indicate Brahman, which is really Atma, which is you. So how are you going to know this by a book? How can you understand this? You have to do Shravanam. And then if you were to ask how long to do Shravanam, then Ajnana Paryantam, until you say, I now know. Yes. I know without a shadow of doubt, without a shadow of vagueness, without a shadow of error. Then you can say, Alam, enough, the quest is filled, the quest is full. And so, until then, one has to do Shravanam. It is not like, okay, once a year I do Shravanam. No, on my birthday. No. Birthday class, birthday Shravanam. No. This is a committed exposure to this knowledge without any kind of interruptions. That is what one has to prepare for. A committed exposure. It's not like once in a while I just, it's not like saying I feel like having some coffee and bondas, the weather is also rainy, it sounds so nice. I don't feel like Shravana. It's not about feeling. That's not what this is about. It's not based on feeling. It's based on jignasa, your desire to know, and that desire to know must be completely validated to putting yourself in a place of knowing. The ahankara has to calm down. The ahankara has to be dethroned. This is the whole idea. It's not easy to do. As long as the ahankara is in place, Shravanam is useless. So that's why Shravanam brings in all the qualifications. Shama, a resolved mind, where the ahankara is tied up, with soft restraints, but it's tied up, yeah. And then, and then what? Shama, resolved mind, not a reactive mind. Anything the teacher says, no, if you start arguing, how will the knowledge go in? It won't go in. So these are all indirect ways of managing the ahankara. The ahankara has its own definition. Vicharam nasahate. Vicharam nasahate means that which cannot stand enquiry. Because when you start, and like the politicians, you launch an enquiry, their career is over. They are dethroned immediately. Because something or the other is there, Then, vicharam nasahate means it cannot stand enquiry. You start looking, where is this ahankara? What is this ahankara? Why is it always feeling bad? It just crawls away like a cockroach. It is just not there. It is mithya. It is dependent on Brahman. And so it doesn't have a leg to stand on. Yet, like an imposter, it has taken over the body-mind-sense complex and it is running its parallel show to Ishvara. That is the problem. It tells Ishvara, whatever you do, I can do better. Ishvara says, keep trying, no problem. Try karo, no problem. In the I don't know, there's one Christian story, very interesting. God and the human being had a fight. And the human being said to God, whatever you can do, I can do better. And God said to the human, "Theek hai, try karo, do it." So the human being picked up some clod of earth from the ground And God said, hey, make your own earth if you are going to use. So like that, the ahankara is completely, it is a spin-off of Ishvara. It's a bad spin-off of Ishvara which is filled with ajnanam. It doesn't know it is Ishvara. And it wants Ishvaratvam without being Ishvara, without knowing it is Ishvara. So it craves for this Aishwarya and it tries to terrorize everyone else. It tries to have some power over everyone. And if no one listens to the Ahankara, it gets a pet dog. At least it will sit down. Sit. Bed jayega. Only for 2 minutes. Then the dog also gets up. Dog sits only because you have dog biscuit in the hand. Then it will see the biscuit, okay, if I want it is also clever. If I want the biscuit, I better, pander to his ego. It will sit down for 2 minutes, grab the biscuit from your hand and run away. That's what it is. Somebody should listen to me. Why should people listen to you? My children should listen to me. Why should they listen to you? Are they mad or what? If they are smart, they will not listen to you. You can't demand respect. Respect is commanded on its own. If you lead your life in such a way that people automatically respect you, that's a different thing. You can't demand, you have to do this. What is that? That is ridiculous, meaningless, totally meaningless. And so therefore, we have to see this very, very clearly. The need for Shravanam cannot be iterated enough. Shravanam happens. You have to get yourself in a place where the ahankara is tied up to a chair, where it is listening from a distance without interfering. It's also gagged and bound. Yeah. And all these qualifications are the way of gagging and binding this ahankara and bringing it to class to just shut up and listen. Shama, resolved mind. Dhamma. Dhamma means restraint with regard to organs of action. In fact, Dhamma should come first. And it does. Dhammayantu brahmacharina swaha. Shamayantu brahmacharina swaha. Dhamma comes first. Because first level of restraint is vak. You feel like saying something wrong, you don't say it. You feel like doing something wrong, you don't do it. Then all the feelings that are there, that are not resolved, you have to resolve. And these places are wonderful. You go tell the bamboo, it won't tell anyone else. You go tell the river, you go tell the forest. So like this is what the whole thing is. Very, very beautiful. Then uparati. Uparati means you need to let go. You can't have this knowledge and want to hold on to everything, every notion, everything. So sweating the small stuff, you have to let go of that. And letting go takes many, many forms. Things just drop off actually in the wake of this knowledge, but we have to help ourselves by letting go of micromanaging everything and everybody. What are you doing? Sit down, stand up, go here, go there. Not healthy for you. Forget the other person, of course, is damaged as a result or resentful. But not healthy for you, because where is your focus? Your focus is on what happened and why didn't the person do this? Why didn't your focus is all outwards on what the other person is doing and how to control them? That's not very good management. Even on the Vyavaharika level, if you want to be a good manager, if you're running a business, you have to learn to delegate. Then only it is successful, because you bring out them as leaders. And in Vedanta also, you just let go and you just focus on listening. Uparati. Then titiksha. Yesterday night we saw the definition of titiksha. Uparati is also called uparama. Titiksha means forbearance. For the sake of this knowledge, I will undergo a period of emotional growth. And emotional growth is always, uncomfortable. If you are uncomfortable, you are getting these qualifications. Yeah. You were asking, no? Yeah. You were asking, how do I know I'm growing? If you're uncomfortable, you're growing. Yeah. This is what it is. So that kind of comfortably uncomfortable, that means you have not reached a plateau of complacency, I know everything. You have to keep growing. And titiksha means putting up with difficulties without complaining and without wailing loudly, without getting eaten up inside. Pujya Swamiji's favorite example to illustrate titiksha. Again, another train journey in the olden times. So, in the olden times, you have to catch the water at a station, drinking water. They would be there to catch the water, and then the wife of this man forgot. What was he doing? I don't know why he couldn't go, but he expected the wife to go get the water. Wife forgot. She was talking to some of the co-passengers. The train left, and then this man started to complain. The next station was in half an hour. I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty. You didn't go bring me water. I forgot. Shut up. No, I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty. He just made her life miserable for half an hour. Then the next, she was so ready. She was ready to get off the running train even before it stopped at the next station. She was so sick of him. She got down even before the train stopped, filled 2-3 bottles, and she felt like, throwing them on his head, but she didn't. Nicely, she gave it to him. He all the time, you didn't do this. I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Okay, drink. Shut up and drink. Then he drank 1.5 bottles, put the other bottle on his head, and bathed himself, doused himself with the water. Then the train took off from that station. And then what did he start saying? I was so thirsty. I was so thirsty. You don't know how thirsty I was. For another half an hour, she had to listen to his rant. Correct? This is called prarabdha. Poor lady. So this is, this is what is called no titiksha. Titiksha means, okay, you're thirsty. Full stop. Put a full stop. That's how you gain titiksha. Meaning I can't do anything about it. Ayyo, there is no water. Full stop. I can't drink bathroom water. Yes, you're right. Full stop. And then next station is half an hour later. Full stop. Meaning you can't do anything about it. And then the station has come. Wonderful. Drink now. And then don't be so traumatized that you're reliving the trauma of not having water for 25 minutes, for another 3 days. Ridiculous. Titiksha. And then Shraddha. Shraddha means giving the source of the knowledge, the Shastra, and the teacher benefit of doubt. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbhihi Yaya Aksharamadigamyate. Yaya Aksharamadigamyate. Same thing in the Mundaka Upanishad. That attitude, that devotional attitude which ensures the gain of the knowledge, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. So, which assures the gain of the knowledge, that attitude is Shraddha, and attitude of devotion directed towards the teacher and directed towards the Shastra. Shastrasya with reference to the Shastra, Guru Vakyasya with reference to the teaching of the Guru. Satya Buddhi Avadharana. Dharana means the ability to keep holding that this must be true, this must be correct, this is beneficial to me. Sa Shraddha Kathitha Sadbhihi. That faith pending understanding is called Shraddha by the sages. And this is the clincher, because if Shraddha is there, knowledge comes. Shraddha not there, knowledge doesn't come. So if you have to pick one qualification out of all this, Shraddha should be picked up. But the nice thing is, if you pick Shraddha, all the others come. If you pick Shama, all the others come. It's like a noodles, bunch of noodles. You can just not pick one noodle. If you pick one noodle, 5, 6 come along with it. That's what it is. Shraddha, then finally Samadhanam. Samadhanam means single-minded focus. You're not distracted by people walking around, by monkeys, no matter how cute. You're not distracted. You're just there and you're able to listen regardless of what is happening. Aage, piche, upar, niche. This is what is Samadhanam. And these 6 things together that we discussed just now are called Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, 6-fold treasure. Shatka Sampatti, 6-fold treasure. All this is just one qualification. All 6 together, because there are various attitudinal changes you have to have in the heart and in the mind. In order for the ahankara to sit down quietly, you give it a lollipop. Here you take, just sit there. And then we have 3 other qualifications. One is viveka. Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha means the ability to distinguish, to discriminate between that which is, Nitya, permanent, and that which is Anitya, impermanent. What is impermanent? Everything. What is permanent? I. That's what it is. Brahman, I is the only permanent thing. Everything else is impermanent. And therefore what? What do I want? I want the permanent. I don't want the finite. I want the infinite. Then, so that is one thing. And then that Viveka that has a twin brother called Vairagya. Both are together always. So Viveka, discrimination between the permanent and the impermanent. Vairagya, the ability to train yourself to drop pursuit of the impermanent and focus on the permanent. Because if I know it's of no use, why will I pursue it? Mother Sita gave Hanumanji, after the war was won, they went to Sri Lanka. From Sri Lanka, they went back to Ayodhya. She was so pleased with his bhakti, and he had been such a friend to her and to Lord Rama. So she gave this very expensive pearl necklace. She put it on his neck. And then what did this Vanara do? What did Hanumanji do? He took it out. He looked at it. He bit into one pearl and went through and spat it out. When there were so many other beads, he bit into the next bead, spat it out. Bit into the third bead, spat it out. Lakshmana was very protective of Mother Sita. He looked upon her as his own mother. And he drew his sword. He said, "Hey, monkey." He was very fond of Hanuman also, but this angered him. He says, "She has given out of so much love to you, and you're destroying the necklace." He put a sword on his neck. And Mother Sita said, "Calm down, calm down." Made Lakshmana withdraw the sword. Then very sweetly she asked, "Why are you doing this?" She was a very, Shanti. Sita is Shanti. She did not get upset. She did not get disturbed. "You are destroying my gift." She said, "Tell me, why are you doing this? Please tell me." And he said, "I'm looking for Rama. I thought you have given it to me, so Rama must be in bead number 1. I bit into it, no Rama, thu, and then spat it out. Second bead, I bit into it, seeing that there is Rama, no Rama, spat it out. Third bead, still no Rama." And then, she hugs him. She embraces him, because this shows that Vairagya there. This is, really speaking, even every bead is Rama itself. But, you can't fault him for not knowing that. He was on the stage of, shunning Anatma in going after Atma Rama. That which is the source of all revelry, which is the truth of oneself. And so he didn't find anything there in the beads. And if there is no Rama, I don't want this gift. And this dismembered necklace, he gives it back to Mother Sita and says, "I'm happy with your love for me, with Rama's love for me. I want Rama with me always." And Sita blesses him, "Tathastu, may Rama be with you always." So this is what the whole thing is. Vairagya means, you keep on getting to the place of in the beginning it is deliberate. It's a place of analysis through sakshita, through being a sakshi. And what is the analysis? How is this going to further my knowledge of Vedanta? How is it going to help me gain this Brahman? And if the answer is no, bye-bye. Yeah, Vairagya means, learning to say bye-bye. The hand starts to hurt a lot. Then you mentally say bye-bye. Yeah, you bid goodbye to a lot of useless things. Even if you look around your house, so many things will be there that have no use. What are you doing with that? Yet you don't give it away. Yet you don't throw it away. Somehow somebody gave, and you have even forgotten who gave. You're keeping it. And then, what I always say is, put all the things that you are not using in a box. And then what? Put it somewhere in the attic or under the bed. Don't look at it. Seal it up. Put a tape on the box, seal it up. Then after 6 months, you won't even know you had it. You don't even know what is there to miss it. 6 months later you open it, oh, this is mine. You are doubting even if it is yours. And if 1 year if you haven't used it, give it away. This is the only way to go. Otherwise life becomes very, very difficult. This is vairagya. And then we have mumukshuta or mumukshutvam. Moksho me bhuyad iti ichha, tibra ichha. A great, intense desire for being free. Being free of being a desiring person, a wanting person, an incomplete person, a complaining person, a dissatisfied, discontented person. I'm sick of it. And this discontentment is not going to go away by getting something or by doing something. I have tried all that. So therefore, let me know the source of myself as the source of all contentment. And this is what is called mumukshuta. These are our abhushanas, our alankaras. We come to class wearing the garland of Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, wearing the earrings of Viveka and Vairagya, and the Chudamani, the head jewel of Mumukshutvam. And thus, thus dressed, thus, adorned, we come to dance the dance of Vedanta, really. A dance of Satchidananda. It is a journey. It's a very, very glorious journey. And this journey, along which Shravanam has 2 more components, we'll come back in an hour and look at that. Not even an hour, 50 minutes. Okay? We'll come back. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadag Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Darshanena Shravanena Matya Vijnanena Idam Sarvam Viditam. Yeah. So, Shravanam, is important, and we saw how to do the Shravanam. What does this Shravanam entail? It brings with it Shraddha, it brings with it all the whole gamut of what we call Adhikaritvam, qualifications for this Shravanam. And then, it brings with it the manner in which the Pramana operates. Usually, the Ahankara operates the Pramana and has the dubious distinction of being the namer in chief. It names everything, boxes everything. But this knowledge is which boxes the Ahankara out of, the throne of being, having kind of a parallel reality, mounting a kind of a parallel reality to Bhagavan and to the vision of oneself as Bhagavan. And this is what is talked about in Yajnavalkya's teaching, that this Shravanam alone is the sadhana to make the Ahankara sit and listen. Really, that's what one has to do, is to make the Ahankara just calm down and listen to whatever is being taught, because what happens otherwise is that the Ahankara is trying to catch at Brahman and failing miserably because it cannot. Because the Ahankara that is in search of Brahman is Brahman. So therefore it cannot really, grasp itself, because there is what we call in Sanskrit kartra karma virodha. So the subject cannot grasp the object, after objectifying it, because what we are talking about is that which can never be an object. It is always of the nature of the I. The I is never an object. The I is always a subject. And so the subject cannot know itself as an object. And so how can the subject know itself as the subject? And since the subject is not subject to objectification, it has to know itself as the subject alone, for which there are indicatory words, and those indicatory words have a way of unfolding for which the ahankara has to be anesthetized. So the anesthesia administration for the ahankara is a two-way process, partly by the student. The student brings in shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam. That kind of, makes the ahankara a little groggy. And then finally the teacher also anesthetizes the ahankara. How? By some lulling it into a place of safety. Yeah, that's why, Vedanta classes always have some jokes, because the jokes relax the ahankara and makes it feel like it's in a safe place. Nothing can go wrong. I'm not being displaced or dismantled. Like that. And so then the student, then the ahankara is able to sit and listen to the Shastra. And then after that it says, oh, wow, I'm Ishvara. That's what I really wanted to be. I wanted to be Ishvara. How did you know? Well, you are already Ishvara. Oh, wow, why was I so really resisting this? Well, you are the one you have to tell me why you were resisting. And so like this, it is so happy, and it is very, very, enchanted finally. And from a disenchanted place, it becomes a jnani. And so the jnani's ahankara is a lightened ahankara, lightened of the maintaining the burden. I am somebody, I am this, I have accomplished all this. None of this is there. No pressure, no fears, no tears. And it has that ahankara of the jnani is what is called sarvatma bhava. Everything and everyone is an extension of itself. So everybody is one with it. So there is nobody that is separate. And that separation which causes anxiety is gone. So when the separation is gone, the notion of separation is gone, the anxiety is gone, and one is able to relax as Ishvara, in Ishvara, relax in this knowledge. This is the role of Shravanam. And if Shravanam does the job, then, we have in the Upanishads some, students who get up and do namaskara to the teacher and they are gone. What happens to them, we are not told. Either they become teachers or they go off into the forest like Yagyavalkya, kya, who knows what they do. But that shows that this quest has a end. And so the Shravanam is the only sadhanam really for this, Atma Jnanam. But then what happens sometimes is that the Shravanam, it's not that the Shravanam has not done its job. The Shravanam has done its job, but then the ahankara comes back in different ways. How does it come back? It comes back to say things like, but, what about all the things I knew? But, do I have to give this up to? But how do I know this is Brahman? How do I know Brahman is something? What if I'm being fooled? And what about the other students in the class? This is a mass fooling. Everyone is being fooled and I am also being had. This is what is called Shanka. Shanka means what? Not Shanka Chakra. Don't think of that. Shanka means this suspicion, doubt, suspicion. Shanka. So that doubts are there because nobody comes to Vedanta with a clean slate. One is a product of one's childhood, correct? And in one's childhood, so many things, And maybe there is a parent, apparently, who wanted to take sannyasa but couldn't, who was brought back to, to the householder life, and because they wanted to take sannyasa but they were advised against it, and then now they are kind of half-heartedly, begrudgingly being a father, being a mother, leading this life. And so what will they do? This is just an imaginary situation. Not really, because I know some people who have gone through this. So, but we are just going to hypothetical situation where, what will they do to their children? They will say, oh, all this is rubbish. What moksha? Kitne logon ko milta hai moksha? How many people will get? Even look in your own Bhagavad Gita, it says in the beginning of the 7th chapter, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. Out of millions of people, Thousands and thousands of people, one person goes for moksha, and out of the 1,000 people going for moksha, one may gain me as themselves. So look at the grim statistics. And so what is your chance of getting moksha? This is what the parent says to the child. Come on, and you are just interested in all kinds of things. You have never withdrawn from the sense objects. And so the parent themselves put cold water on the pursuit because they couldn't do it. So then after all, you are an extension of them. They say, moksha, just have some mocha. Go to Starbucks. I'll give you some extra pocket money. Jao, moj karo. Have some fun. What is all this, You have to have a balanced life. You shouldn't go all into this. So the parents themselves may hold back. And the voice of the parents, even if the parents are dearly departed, the voice of the parents, even after they are gone, has been internalized, and they place a small CD player inside the heart. And that keeps playing, and it's sad because it is no longer their voice. It becomes your own voice. Oh, maybe I'm not meant for this. Oh, look at all those other students, they are so nicely listening. I'm not able to listen. I'm not even able to sit. So why bother? This is a doubt. This is called ashanka, asamantat shanka, ashanka, doubt. Full-fledged doubt. Or there are some hidden doubts and they suddenly come out. And the doubt is because of, lack of shraddha, lack of viveka, lack of vairagya, lack of any of the qualifications. And so the doubts are not there, in the stories in the Upanishads. Nachiketa hardly had any doubt. He didn't ask a single question. He just sat, listened to Lord Yama and saluted him and went away. And neither did Maitreyi have any doubts. She didn't say, Bho, Yajnavalkyaha, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam na priyam bhavati. She did not argue with him. She took it. As he was saying, it made a lot of sense to her because they are what are called Uttama Adhikarinaha.